Years had passed since Arizona had last beaten Oklahoma State. Surely it wouldn't happen this year, with the Cowboys coming in riding high after tapping into that offensive oasis against hapless Savannah State. But the desert is a dark and inhospitable place where mistakes can cost you dearly. 8 months after ending their 2011 season with a bowl win over Stanford and Phoenix, the Cowboys were, for all intents and purposes, beginning their 2012 season just down the road in Tucson. Freshman quarterback Wes Lunt did not look intimidated by the challenge early on, as he found senior receiver Tracy Moore for the 9-yard touchdown pass in OSU's initial drive. Suspended for the first game, Moore was happy to be back, and Lunt glad to have him. Cowboys led 7-0 less than 2 minutes in. Lunt liked it so much the first time he decided to do it again, finding Moore for the 30-yard pass to pay dirt. It was 14-0 Pokes, tad over 7 minutes in. Sometimes one mistake is all it takes to ruin everything you've built. And while OSU's mishaps were many, perhaps none changed momentum as much as Calvin Barnett's 30-yard penalty. 15 for roughing the passer, 15 more for tussling with an Arizona lineman. 2 minutes later, the Wildcats were in the end zone, scoring on the 15-yard pass for Matt Scott to Richard Morrison. 14-7 OSU less than 10 minutes in. OSU was penalized the most in its history with 15 penalties, costing the Cowboys 167 yards. Arizona added 3 field goals and a touchdown before the half to lead 23-14 at the break, then scored 5 minutes into the third quarter on this Matt Scott to Kadeem Carey 13-yard pass. The Wildcats had scored 30 straight points. But here come the Cowboys. Wes Lunt guns it to Tracy Moore for the 9-yard score. It's 30-21 Arizona. Moore had 4 touchdown receptions and led OSU receivers with 8 catches for 106 yards in the game. Then Jeremy Smith takes the handoff and tiptoes into the end zone from 10 yards out. It's 30-28 Arizona. OSU had danced right back into the picture. Smith had 8 carries for 77 yards. Joseph Randall, 23 carries for 123 yards. But even the most promising of youngsters make mistakes, and Wes Lunt made a costly one. Facing duress, the 6'4" freshman forced the pass to the flat, and Jonathan McKnight jumped in front of the flailing pigskin and took it 48 yards the other way. 45-31 Arizona with 10:24 remaining. Lunt set a Big 12 single-game record with 436 passing yards, completing 37 of 60 passes, but with 3 interceptions. Arizona scored 18 points off OSU turnovers. The Wildcats run away with this one, 59-38. OSU suffers a rare loss on the road.
As a coach, I've said this for several years, you guys have been around. If you just get beat, it stings, but it's okay. But if you don't play very smart and you give them 15 penalties for 167 yards, you know, that's what makes a coach have a hard time sleeping, because you don't know what would have happened if you'd have just played good, and if they, as I said, if somebody just beat you, they just beat you. But I'm giving them credit, but you can't. I mean, 167 yards and penalties and 4 turnovers, you had no chance.
What did you think of Wes?
I thought he played his rear end off. I really did. First game on the road, I thought he was accurate. I think he was poised. Did he make mistakes? Yeah. The touchdown, the interception, that was my fault. It's 3rd and 12. I put him in empty. He's not ready when a team brings 0. They brought 0. He threw it to the right guy just late, saw it late. Will that happen later in his life? No. But did it happen today? You bet it did. It's my fault. It's not his fault. I mean, just look at the throws he made tonight. I mean, anybody that watched him tonight understands he's a really good football player, and we're going to win a bunch of games with him.
I mean, you can't put your finger on one thing. You know, it wasn't one thing. It was multiple penalties, multiple drop passes, fumbles, and everything like that. Can't win games like that.
Yeah, I think the biggest key was the penalties. But when you have a quarterback that can scramble and move around like that in the pocket, I mean, he's going to be dangerous to any team that he's facing.
Anytime they didn't have, we got to overcome penalties. I mean, we're gonna get penalties. Some of the penalties we had, we got to limit those penalties. But other than that, I think we just got to tighten up as a D. Gave up too many points.
Yeah, we didn't play cowboy football. You know, that's not what we're about. And we're just going to work on it for next week. Well, I mean, I hate to say it, but that's kind of more encouraging than them just outright beating us. It was really us that made the mistakes, and we paid for it tonight.
If there's any positive from Saturday night's loss, it's that at least OSU lost early in the season. It gives the Cowboys plenty of time to fight their way back into the upper echelons of the polls. For now, silly mistakes must be eliminated and fundamentals must be fixed. Not for the University of Louisiana Lafayette in 1 week's time, but for what lies beyond. Reporting from Arizona Stadium in Tucson, Arizona, Damon Fontenot, Who's OK Sports.